Chapter 1. I looked at the man in front of me, and my heart ached. He was 6 feet 2 inches tall, with model-like proportions and a sculpted, handsome face with strong features. He had a cold and solemn demeanor when silent and spoke with the authority of a king. He was the owner of a renowned global corporation and the rumored domineering CEO. The bastard in front of me, oh no, the bachelor, was sitting opposite me and coldly handed me a divorce agreement. Sign it. It will benefit both you and me. It's over now. I covered my face with my hands, unable to speak, and had a headache. The headache wasn't because of the divorce agreement in front of me, but because something that shouldn't have happened in reality was happening to me. Here's what happened. I am an online writer, specializing in supernatural and suspense themes. However, since online literature has faced stricter regulations, the market for supernatural and suspense has become bleak, making it difficult for me to make a living. Because I had done well with previous books, an editor from a website contacted me and asked if I could write custom romance novels for a female audience. At that time, I was almost unable to make ends meet, so I nodded decisively. As long as the money was right, anything was possible. The other party asked me to write a heart-wrenching contemporary CEO novel. When I received the outline from the editor, I was completely stunned. Frankly speaking, it was a story about chasing your wife to the crematorium, a trope where the hero relentlessly pursues the heroine after wronging her. The hero and heroine were in an arranged marriage, but the hero was deeply in love with the supporting female character. The hero always believed that the heroine had schemed her way to the top and destroyed his true love, so he mistreated her in every way possible and wanted her to divorce him. There were countless melodramatic plots. The unlucky heroine was bullied by the hero and humiliated by the supporting female characters and the hero's family. In short, it was a terrible mess. The point was, the heroine still loved him in the end. After reading the synopsis, I began to doubt myself, wondering if I wasn't twisted enough to keep up with the reader's tastes. I wrote 20,000 words according to the editor's outline, but it was rejected 5 times. This wasn't acceptable, that wasn't acceptable, and finally, nothing was acceptable. Finally, the picky editor told me I had to submit the manuscript tomorrow. So, the night before the deadline, I was still working on my manuscript, my eyes fixed on the computer screen, when I suddenly felt a hot current rush from my nostrils and my vision gradually went black. When I opened my eyes again, it was the same scene. The male lead was called Cassian. I had revised everything from the name to the character 5 times. 5 times. I looked at the agreement in front of me, and my gaze involuntarily shifted to Cassian's beautiful face. I decisively refused. I won't sign it. According to the previous setting, the heroine loved the hero deeply, so she decisively refused to sign the divorce agreement and was then tortured by Cassian. System documentation tells us that, generally speaking, following the system's operations is the safest option. What if I make the wrong choice and can't get out? I don't want to be a trembling character in the book forever. Just as I expected, Cassian's eyes grew furious, and he even crumpled the agreement. Clara Bennett, don't regret this. I shook my head. No regrets, I don't regret it at all. Cassian was probably furious. He suddenly swung his long arm, and all the crystal glasses on the table fell to the ground with a harsh sound. Even if you're angry, don't break things. I immediately stood up from my chair. I spent a lot of money on this. The other party gripped my chin and stared at me sinisterly. If you don't sign, I have plenty of ways to make you sign. Cassian was very ruthless. I even felt he was going to crush my jaw. Finally, he let go and left me with a menacing back. The butler, who had heard the noise, slowly came out from behind the door and silently cleaned up the mess. I breathed a sigh of relief and slumped back into the chair.